Okay, so anyway, we're Random Encounters. You can look us up on YouTube, and we make video games into musical numbers. And today we're going to walk through we're going to take 2 villain songs, actually, that we've done. One new, one old. And we're going to walk through them with you guys, kind of step by step, about how these kind of things get made.
Dissect them with tweezers.
Yes, and not only how they get made, but then how they get, not sold, but sent out to an audience, and how they get ad revenue running on them, how there might be brand integration with companies, stuff like that. So, without further ado, shall we play a video for you and then dissect it? This is the Wario rap. We have the lights.
I'm a Wario, and I'm here to say I'm gonna mess it up for your entire day. I got a tripping bike and $1 billion of coins. I'm a half with road and to chop his loins. I got a funny little stone that I can't control. Great, I hate it's gonna hate me cause that's how I roll. See, I'm being like a princess, but that don't make me name. I say crazy with my cheesy wiggies doing crappy games. No, it's gonna sweat like Wario. Scratching in the butt like Wario. Jumping up and down like Wario. Looking for the sun like Wario. No one thinks their nose like Wario. Waxing on their clothes like Wario. No one's half as bad as Wario. He's Wario, Wario. He's Wario. What a haunting song. It needs to be louder. We're talking 300 pounds of Super Wario World. Time for eating clothes and garlic. Am I crazy? Oh no! Put this bucket on your head. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna like a bunch of pirates while I shake my shirt and sack. I'm dragging road check and I'm riding a car. I own a Wario's woods and I'm alone to do part. When I'm not on this job, I wear a yellow one flow. Cause I'm a Wario man and I'm a number one. No one's like the brute as Wario. No one has to shoot as Wario. No one's like as fast as Wario. No one passes gas like Wario. Master of disguise, that's Wario. Yeah, all along, Wario. He's Wario, Wario. He's Wario. What kind of breed goes when you sleep? The one who was really bad. He's a love, he's a really bad love. What kind of heel can make your big deal? He's Wario, Wario. He's Wario. My name's Snake. Come and join my crew. I've got a team of 6, including me and you. But I'm Snake, rush up on my 9. There's cash involved. Right on side. No one has a blast like Wario. Has a whole past like Wario. But no one to dance like Wario. Have a haunting day.
Woo! That was the Wario rap. It's very new. It just came out like 2 weeks ago, I want to say? 2 or 3 weeks ago, yeah. We're going to go through that step by step. Actually, go ahead and show them the ending to it. Because there's an important addition we've recently started, for YouTube's sake, to each of our videos. That comes after the video finishes. Kind of like a post-credits thing that we always do.
Oh, starting soon at the jump.
Okay, so every video now ends, and we do this kind of subscribe screen here.
Oh, there, encounters. That's how you say hello. There's a Pokemon song starting soon at the Gentleman's Club, but you can watch another musical by clicking these videos down here. Oh, that's a good one. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any songs. You gotta catch them all. I'm reading this from the script. Oops, the show's about to start. Like it if you liked it, share it if you loved it, and Facebook if you... Facebook.
So that's a new addition that we've started doing, little ending pieces like that. We'll explain that shortly. But let's go starting from the beginning of this process. Okay, so go to VirtualBox. We use a program called VirtualBox because I write in a piece of software called MIDI Maker. If you guys ever heard of that, it's really old. It's like from '95 or something like that. It's so ancient. It doesn't have any support left. It's by like Nth Software or something.
It only runs in Windows, so we have to run a
Where
virtual Windows
we
machine.
use Macs primarily, or at least for my purposes I do. But I write in software for Windows. So I have a Windows computer, but I run it on Mac instead since I keep it all congested. So this is MIDI Maker right here. It's written in piano roll because I'm not very good with music. I don't have musical training per se. So I have to write like this where I can see, just start a new file. Oh, you can open the Wario one actually. Yeah, go ahead and open it. I think it's just called Wario Rap. You can see all my songs. You can see all the stupid names I've got in there. Assassin things and...
Wario 2?
That's fine. Wario 2 is the ending.
Oh, okay.
My software has a lot of limitations. One of them is that I can't write it past like so many bars, and then like it'll tell me like, oh, you can't save this anymore. And so I can only write like half the song, and I have to make a new file and start writing the second half and like find what the instruments were again and stuff. So this is MIDI Maker, and when you're writing a piano roll, you'll see it's almost more like a grid and less like stabs. And these blocks represent different instruments. All the green is going to be an acoustic bass, apparently, for now. And so that's how long that plays on that note, like a C, and then jumps down to like whatever that is, a G. I can slowly figure out, which one's doing what. Go ahead and stop it. Yeah. So that's what we're writing in, and it's a lot of work because every single note has to kind of go in that way. Whereas usually people use like samples, they use like a drum section and we'll just layer it and copy and paste it basically. I can do some level of that, but not a lot. I have to write at least once every single beat of whatever the instrument is doing and then go through it. I can use 8 tracks, which is a lot similar to what they used to do with like NES and stuff like that, where they had only so many instruments. So you'll notice when you're playing with NES, and like the sound cuts out when Mario like collects a coin while he's jumping, while there's a thing, like whatever. You'll notice the music like loses parts of like the bass or something like that, and then comes back again. It's because they can't use more than like 8 different sound like moments at the same time. So I sort of have a similar situation here, where to start with I only have 8 tracks. If you use better software, this doesn't happen to you. So I just need to learn some better software, and then I won't have limitations like that. So that's what we're writing in. That's we could play like we heard some of the MIDI. So.
Most of the MIDI on that program sounds kind of crappy, so we usually end up bringing it into like Pro Tools and resampling, or GarageBand and resampling to make it sound a little more like it isn't crap. So what do we do? We move from there into, once we have a song, AJ will either start writing lyrics or write images to the song. So we usually work on storyboards, and he'll draw out a bunch of frames of this is what I want to see during the video.
Like that nose. That nose is the best right there.
That's pretty good.
I can't draw noses, as you can tell.
It's like a pair of scissors.
Ooh, he's scratching at that butt. Scratch at it, Wario. Yeah, right there. I'm also not an artist, in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah, that was Billy Button.
Oh,
Barely. We'll draw up storyboards, which are really just so that when we're in production,
They're sick. It looks just like Peter.
Yeah.
Peter looks just like that.
Yep.
I made Peter stand there while I drew that frame. I was like, hold still, hold still. It's like, so yeah, we do storyboards. Sometimes we'll do like animatics. You'll see those in like Pixar behind the scenes and stuff, where they take the actual storyboards, or they'll cut them out basically to make them move around. You have an animated version of the video. We don't tend to do that because it's not worth our time. We'll do it if we do it on the post end. Actually, we'll like throw that in as a behind the scenes thing. Well, I made the storyboards, and we use those on set. We need them for the set work, but we don't need it to like plan out better what's going to happen usually. Even when we do an animated one, we've never actually use that as a tool. So.
Yeah, when you're making a video, it's really helpful to have storyboards, because when you're on set, you can just literally cross off a picture, and when all the pictures are crossed off after you've shot them, you know for a fact that you have every shot that you need in the entire video. So it's really helpful to either have a shot list or a storyboard so that you know this is what I'm doing, this is what I have to get done before the video can actually be produced.
Let's talk about these socks for a moment. I'm wearing these socks today. I got them at the dollar store. Talking about costumes a little bit. Because we usually skimp on explaining some of these costumes. We have to make them all ourselves, basically. So in Wario's case, fortunately, it's all thrift store kind of stuff. You can go do it yourself. Yeah, that's a pillow.
You can tell in that shot.
I kept my belly warm all day. The most complicated thing about this costume, probably, obviously you're talking about vest and jeans and stuff like that. Other than the fact that the jeans are super tight because they're girl jeans and I'm not a girl, so they don't fit that well. But the most complicated thing, other than the helmet, which you have to go, pick up a helmet and paint it and stuff, is the nose. The nose and the mustache. You can find the shot. You might have been able to tell that mustache is made out of like, what do you call it, pipe cleaner? Yeah, giant pipe cleaner. It's that kind of like huge. Yeah, there you go, Wario man.
There it is.
Yeah, the nose is interesting too. I don't know where I think we ripped that off those, like, you go to the dollar store and buy the glasses that have a nose on them. Yeah, that's what we got. Now, I can't use spirit gum. I don't know if you guys have tried before. I am terrible with spirit gum.
He has really oily skin.
I sweat profusely, apparently. And so I was using duct tape inside that, and like sticking on my nose with duct tape. We had to change the duct tape like every like half hour or something. because it was just ripping right off still.
And there's a lot of wind where we live. Like it's
Yeah.
extremely windy in Lancaster, so the wind would just like rip his nose right off. So I think we have some in the
My
bloopers
nose,
sometime there are like missing nose shots.
Speaking of bloopers, don't you think it's a good time to show some Wario bloopers?
It seems like it might be.
I feel like that's a perfect time to actually show you guys some bloopers from that.
All of our mistakes.
You're seeing our filing system too. We have our encounters, which are all of our main videos, and then we have bonus encounters, which are all the behind the scenes things. And you'll see, we have something like this Princess Peach animatic. If you guys were here yesterday, this is kind of thing.
You know when you put it that way.
I know something like that.
Clean up litter. You're using Twitter. Consider picking what's making the critters. I'll find a tip. One time, question what fire wants is from the best we will be. The best we can be.
Yeah.
So you get the point.
Yeah,
They end,
those of you who saw that yesterday, that's what it looks like as a storyboard, and sometimes we'll layer them in.
they end up turning out fairly similar.
They
It's
do.
pretty cool.
It's fun to play them at the same time. Okay, so let's watch some Wario bloopers. Let's see these. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, open up. If you could do that without throwing your cape.
What are you doing?
This is cutting from the other one. No one touches his shoes like Wario.
There's a random person we met on the street who was like, I want to dance
Oh my god!
I'm gonna be a ringer. I gotta fight a bunch of pirates. What you want? Where are China? Right here. Right here. You want my finger?
There was something. Where is it? No, go back. Go back. Go back. This bothers me every single time. Sometimes we miss things and they end up, and we just don't care. To be honest, sometimes it's like no one else is gonna really care. Yeah, it's this one. This bugs me so much. Whose arm is this? Whose arm got there?
That's the final video.
It's this guy.
Yeah, that ended up in the actual cut.
Yeah, we didn't even try to take that out because like this is gonna take like days to get rid of. I'm like, all we had to do was have somebody not in the middle of the background. I can't even explain that. Like, what was it, Waluigi? I don't think he doesn't wear short sleeves and he doesn't have an arm that big. He'd be like long, like stringy arm. Yeah, Wario's roommate. Like I said, it's Toad. Wario and Toad are roommates now.
So yeah, that happened.
Yeah, not everything goes that smoothly on set, as you can see. But we have a lot of fun, and Wario is honestly, like sometimes people ask us, what's your favorite one to have worked on? Wario for me is like one of my favorites. I had a blast doing that, probably just because I got to be rude and fart places and spit hot dogs all over myself.
You were pretty disgusting the whole day.
Yeah. Let's jump into post-production.
Today, right?
Oh, we did! That's a good point. People also like to ask, how long does, musicals take you guys? That's a common question. It used to be a lot longer. Recently, we've like taken the production time like down into minuscule proportions. So Wario, actually I was thinking, we just released Portal for Valentine's Day. And that turnaround was our record. We broke our record last week with a 4-day production from like start to, hey, we should make a Portal video for Valentine's Day, to on Valentine's Day, like 4 days later, like, there's our Portal musical. It was on that fast. Wario took a little bit longer, but not much. I was thinking about this just in the hotel last night. It was about 1 week turnaround because we were gonna do, I don't think we ever said this out loud actually, but we were going to do an Enderman, Slenderman like versus kind of musical where they like have like a Wild West showdown. And so we like got the photographer to do the picture for us, and then he was gonna come up and we were like, we're still working out the storyboards for it and stuff. And I couldn't get a song together. I just blanked. It was like Western music. I wrote like 3 different stupid Western songs. I should show you guys all the rejected Western songs.
Rejected AJ songs.
Yes, they're. I'm not going to show you. We're a little bit short on time, so I'm not going to show you. Sorry. Maybe another time. They were bad, just trust me, they were bad, and I couldn't even get words started to them, and I'm like, we should just throw this out. We should just do something different. So it took us about 5 or 6 days
Yeah.
to go from like, hey, let's just do this Wario thing, because that could be a lot of fun. And if it sounds like the Shia LaBeouf, like, Cannibal song, it does sound like that. I like that
It
song,
was-
so.
A little bit.
It's my favorite type of rap, is that kind of a thing.
What's
so.
up?
What was the
Let me get you this.
So what was the longest production you've been involved in?
Princess Peach, the Angie Viper back there. We shot.
Reveal this for us. How long do you think it took us?
Okay, well, I know that at least the filming took about 3 days. And then you had been working on the song for, what, like a month before I finally got it, right? And that was like 2 months before we even started filming. And then it was in production for what, like 2 months after that?
Yeah, it was
So
in
it's probably
post-production.
like half a year that was in production.
We had a lot of animation, and it was kind of our first big green screen only video, and so we were inexperienced in pretty much every level of production for that thing. So the Princess Peach one took like we've estimated it's probably a total of about 4 months, which is still a really long time for a 2-minute YouTube video.
And the truth is that song actually was bouncing around in my head for like a couple months before
Yeah.
that too. It's like I just was waiting, we're gonna do this sometime. I have a song picked out, this is the tune, I sing in the car and I'll like come up with it like that. I'll even, if I have my laptop, I'll take it out while I'm trying to drive and like, don't tell anybody this. Don't do this
I didn't
yourselves.
know that part.
Yes, on my way to work or something, because I was working at the time down in Hollywood and driving like an hour to get there, it would be like, get the computer out and start ripping and sing really badly, use like the steering wheels, the drum, and like save that. And I have a folder on here called Remember These Tunes. It's on my desktop. And it's just full of bad singing. And sometimes I listen, I'm like, I have no idea what that's supposed to sound like. But I'll keep it just in case
That's how
I
I
figure
feel
out
whenever
later.
he sings things.
Yeah. Okay, so we are supposed to talk a little about post-production. Jump into this timeline. This is Final Cut Pro. Some people, when you start editing, you know, will take something free like Windows Movie Maker or iMovie if you have a Mac, or you'll jump up to like Premiere or Sony Vegas. The industry, I want to say, does all Avid Final Cut Pro. We do Final Cut Pro only because that's what we were trained on basically at college. So this Final Cut Pro, you basically have video on the top, audio on the bottom. There you go. And you get to kind of jump through, and you can see this kind of thing that Peter actually put in. Peter, let's pick out the shots you did for post-production, because obviously you just layer the shots in order. You're like, here it is. This is the video.
Yeah, sure. So like this shot, for instance, none of these were actually on set while we were shooting these posters, because
It's just a wall.
We just didn't have enough ink to print these things, and we didn't have time to like run to the print shop. So you know, I had to track the wall and make sure that all the perspectives were right, and I had to lay in behind Wario these posters, and then draw
Yeah. So those posters are really
because
animated.
he draws a little line on it, so I had to draw that in post-production. And we do a lot of that kind of stuff where you don't really notice it in the video, but it's necessary for the story, and so we just, we're like, okay, we have to do a visual effect here, let's throw it in, let's make it happen.
But we really blew up the radio tower. That actually happened.
Yeah,
that was
happened.
totally practical.
The
The city didn't mind.
It was pretty fun.
They were cool. Yeah.
So, the farts and stuff like that, I think this is a fart.
Yeah.
They look crappy and awkward, but whatever, like, it's a fart. I mean,
And it's funny.
I didn't believe
Exactly.
he really farted there. It looked fake. It's totally photoshopped. When I fart, it's yellow, not green.
and here we went to New York City and
Yeah,
shot.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Green screen, obviously, on YouTube you see it all the time. How much YouTube do you guys watch? A lot of it? Some of it? Plenty of it? Okay, good, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones on YouTube using green screen. It's a lot better than us, but it helps a lot to do. All those are fake, obviously. We didn't go and buy like 12 Wario costumes.
Yeah.
Those are animated in.
There's more fart.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we add in a bunch of stuff like that. And then the last step of the process, once we've got, there you go, this explosion.
That's a fun one.
I really drove that car down the road, it looked that bad.
We made it on
My MS
paper.
Paint skills at work right here. The last step of the process, once you got your finished video, and you're like, okay, how do I get people to see it? You guys make videos? How many of you have a YouTube channel? Not many of you. Wow. Color me impressed. Gee whiz. Oh, we're getting to that. Because sound is probably. Oh, I'm sorry. I did skip the sound. You're right.
You did skip
You're
sound.
right. I'm
the
sorry.
sound guy on the channel.
But that's a perfect way to because sound gets forgotten. I just talked about the picture. I said, here's how we edit the video, and I forgot completely about the sound. And the thing is, sound is really important, not just because it's a musical. Because what we're going to show you is a version of this that we made, and we laughed our heads off when we saw it. It's a version of the Wario rap that doesn't have any music in it.
Where did you put it?
It should be, it might be a convention playback. Check. Yeah. See, we decided, wow, this is so funny. We have to show this at our panel at AOD next week. And it was amazing how big a difference it makes whether you have the sound or not. And so this is a version just to champion the fact that sound effects are really important in your videos. And you don't want to forget to do them because without it, it feels really blank and poor. So this is a version without the music. You just get to watch him fart and burp and be gross.
Randy's walking.
Almost all of this is post-production, by the way. So that's what happens if all of that would be missing if we don't do a post-production sound edit. And it's really obvious when you don't do them because it's like, without all that stuff, it gets a lot less funny really quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
Granted, it wasn't that funny. I built it up like, ooh, it's amazing. Who could recognize the video game sound that was in that? Raise your hand. Yes.
The Yoshi sound.
The Yoshi sound? You mean when what happens? Do you remember when it was?
I can't remember when it was, but it was like, went, wow.
Oh, on the scale. Do you know what game it was from?
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers.
You're right. It is from Super Mario World. I'm going to tell you what. We actually brought props from some of our things that we're going to give away. So if you've ever seen the Meta Knight song that we did, that is for you, my friend.
Meta Knight.
We do have a couple more costume pieces we're going to give away from our other musicals. So yes, we have Meta Knight in our audience now. Okay, so do we jump into a little bit about YouTube, just glaze over, and then jump into our second video?
Sure.
Explain to me, Peter, the business of what happens once we have a finished video.
So, well, actually, but even before we have a finished video, you know, there are only certain kinds of people who actually watch our videos. It's called demographics. You've probably heard of that word thrown around a lot. You know, it's like we have, you know, certain ages that will watch our videos primarily. Male, female,
12 to 18, 21,
and
25, 30.
Yeah, so like once you know, when you know your demographic, you can actually kind of tailor your videos towards that specific group of people.
This magical group called gamers.
Yes. And so, you know, all of our videos, we have to think about that really specifically whenever we're doing things. And sometimes we'll make a decision not based on, this is what I love necessarily, but if we're like on the fence about something, then we'll ask, well, what does our demographic love?
Exactly. If you make something that, you know, your demographic doesn't like about something, or if you make something that doesn't have a demographic, you go, this is just a funny thing, but it doesn't have any kind of a niche or a catch to it that a group is going to like, it might not be worth making just because nobody will watch it if they don't feel it speaks to them very personally. So that's important to make sure you always have a hook, I think. we've decided. to do.
So yeah, in terms of like getting our videos out, a lot of you probably discovered us on like a blog like Kotaku or Smosh or something like that. Who all
Smosh is
knew
cool.
about us? Yeah, yeah.
Yes. You discovered us from here? Oh, from conventions.
Yeah,
There we go, convention power.
Those are our two primary sources, I think, of new people in a lot of ways. Is blogs and live appearances. You know, you have to once you figure out what your model is, how you're going to get people, a lot of times you just have to stick to that, and it'll actually work over time.
Now, in Smosh's case, they're the biggest YouTube channel right now,
Yeah,
and
it
they
helps. It helps.
very easily don't have to go out and get their stuff posted. I don't think you do see their stuff posted on Kotaku or anything like that, because they're so big that they have this like viral essence about them, where they can share things, and their subscribers share things with subscribers or non-subscribers, and you just build that way. So
Yeah.
we're too small right now. We've got about 15,000 or 16,000 subscribers, and that's not quite enough that you can just have them share so much that you grow exponentially. We grow very slowly unless we keep staying on news kind of things. So for now, unfortunately, we have to work like that. But we do have our live appearances at conventions. There are little things you can do to try to build your video outside of that, like, for instance, your scheduling, your thumbnails.
Yeah. So for a while, we kind of just posted whenever we had a video finished, and that was cool. And you know, some of our subscribers would remember to look at Random Encounter subscriptions and find them.
But you guys aren't actually YouTube people, I just remembered, or a lot of you aren't, or you don't actively have a channel. So some of this might just be kind of like, I don't really care too much about making my videos get seen more. So, but there are things visually on your channel that you can do to, like making sure that you have good pictures to represent yourself and things like that. So let's talk about Sega for a second.
Okay.
I like Sega.
Okay.
You guys like Sega? Did you see the Sonic demo? It was pretty awesome, right? Yeah. You want me to talk about Sega? Sega talks about Sega. We just had Burger King with Sega last night because they're awesome. If you want any history, if you don't want any history, I'm going to give it to you anyway. I first got to meet Sega from a Sonic the Hedgehog contest where I made Nino Lost the Musical with somebody else, and Peter worked on a little bit of sound for it. We went to Tokyo because we won the contest, got to meet Sonic Team. We ended up sharing a dressing room at Sonic Boom 2011 with Jun Seno, who is awesome, he's fantastic, and does the music for those games, and we had a blast with them. And we've been working a little bit with Sega ever since. So it started out as free, because you always work for free, you know, with people to start with, because we're small. But Sega has developed us into helping do some branding for their games. So that started out as an April Fool's joke that we did for free with them called Sega Bass Fishing of the Dead last year. And from that, they were so impressed with that then they offered us, would you like to do something for a game called Rhythm Thief, which came out in the United States last of all, probably in like June or July, I guess. And they said, nobody knows this game exists, can you make a musical based on it? You know, we'll pay the budget for it and stuff. And we said, absolutely, we'll do that. And we did it. And the best part about the story is that Rhythm Thief ended up being an awesome game. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we have to sell out and make something for a game that's stupid. It was like, people love that game. And it reviewed exceptionally. And sometimes you get lucky and work with somebody who's really open about how you want to work with them. And Sega has been like, you know what? You guys do stuff that we like, so just do the stuff and we'll like it. And that's our arrangement with you. It's not like we're gonna hang over your shoulder and be like, hey, he should be more like this, or his character would do it. Like, they don't do that. They're so open and easygoing about it. So working with Sega has been awesome. And we do want to open up with other companies, because companies equal money! Exactly. Money is a good thing. It helps us make more musicals that we just feel like making, or we think that you'll like. What are we doing?
I'm looking up some of the next videos because I can't find them on here.
I'll tell them
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, that's Sega for you. Working with companies is great. Sometimes they can be a little bit harder to work with because they want very specific things. For example, I think it's okay to say this, and I'm going to say it, and Aaron Weber will yell at me if he wants to yell at me. We had certain demands put on our Monkey Ball musical. We were told things like the following, okay? Obviously, they can never come out of their balls. They have to stay in the ball. It's Monkey Ball. We were also told a big part of the game that everybody likes is Monkey Target. Therefore, you need to have Monkey Target in this. And they said, so right away to have them do this flying in a ball, landing on a giant target, sometime in the video. And then the third thing they said is we want this to be like an epic kind of thing, but it has to be able to be cut into 3 parts, because we don't know if it's going to be one whole thing or 3 separate things. They said, so it has to be like a narrative thing that has the serialized kind of ending every couple minutes that you can cut up and do webisodes out of, so we can release 3 parts instead of one big video. So we had all that together, and then it was like, okay, we're within the budget. And we ended up, and we're not going to show it because it's epically long.
15 minutes or something.
Yeah. But those are the kind of things that we ended up having to work with to meet the company's demands on a project that they were giving us. And it was fine, it stretches your creativity, so it can be really good. Let's jump into the next video, shall we? This is one of our earliest videos. It's called The Legend of Ganondorf.
Oh, I love this one.
That's one of my
I want to.
Oh, good. And we see this little spinning wheel a lot. If you don't use Mac,
Spinning wheel up
if you don't use a Mac, that's the same thing as the hourglass on Windows. And when it sits there and gets stuck, you get unhappy.
Yeah.
Yes!
Force that to quit.
I can't.
Because it's very painful for it.
Die!
Uh-oh.
great video.
Well, wouldn't be a random encounters panel if we didn't have a random encounter with a spinning wheel.
We love you.
Let's do Q&A while we fix this. There's a question for us right now. Yes, I'm here in the front.
What do you do for, you mentioned sound effects earlier, like what, do you go, how do you get your sound effects? Like what sort of process do you use to find these sound effects?
It depends very much on the video. I'm restarting.
That's cool.
It depends very much on, actually not the video, it depends on the sound effect. A lot of sound effects I've built up over the couple years I've been working in sound, a pretty big library of just sounds that are on my computer. And they have specific names so that I can just kind of search and find what I'm looking for. And when we don't have it in like my library, AJ's got a library of his own that's very different kinds of sounds that are more for like trailers and stuff because he worked at a trailer company for a while. And so we have this big library of different interesting kinds of sounds that we work with. And then if we don't have it, then I'll go out and record it. For the Medic musical, we did a musical about the Medic from TF2. And for the Medic musical, basically, the Medic did a lot of crap to the garage that we were shooting in, and so I just took my rig out to the garage and said, okay, I'm gonna do all of the crap that the Medic did with the microphone closer. And so I was like cutting up cardboard in the garage and stomping around and jumping on chairs and throwing chairs across the garage.
Into things.
Yeah, into walls full of tons of like metal pieces that fell off and stuff. And so it ended up sounding almost exactly the same as it did on set, just better and more controlled.
And no one
Yeah.
died.
So depending on the sound effect, depending on the sound effect library or like live recording, sometimes we'll go online because we just can't find the sound and we can't recreate it. And we'll go online to freesound.org and grab the sound.
That's a good one too, yeah. Go ahead and jump back into Ganondorf. Let's ask another question if anybody's got one. Anybody got another question? Yes, sir.
What programs do you use to make the actual visuals of the video? Do you use like After Effects or what for your computer animation that shows up every once in a while?
Peter, this one's for you.
I use Photoshop. Yeah, I used to use Flash a little bit, but I really fell out of that. I got more involved with stop motion at some point, to be honest, with animation, because I like some of that papercraft.
Yeah, I use After Effects, and I bought a student version of Maya a couple years ago. So for 3D stuff, I work in Maya, and it's really complicated. Why is this not opening? Jeez.
Because it's Ganondorf!
The villain. So it's a lot of really technical stuff that takes a long time, and then once you've finally figured it out, then you have to hit render and walk away and sleep or like eat yummy food or something, watermelon.
All right, this is gonna be great. We're gonna watch The Legend of Ganondorf for real this time.
I wake up in the morning, I put on my ugly face. I make myself a breakfast, I spritz myself with paste. I get my trusty notebook, I mix myself a drink. I grab my pen and sit and then find ways to better link. Like I could throw some balls of magic or off on my shadow from floor. I could sit and play my organ or just wait on my moose. Or maybe turn into a puppet or a giant crazy snake. But one thing sure you see, Glenn will be a freaking here for sake. Sing it, ladies! I check my daily banner, it tells me what to do. It says to kidnap Zelda and take the Triforce too. I'll come invade her castle, cause Zelda's pretty hot. She'll be my Kudo princess mess. I stay in jail to rock cause I got giant gripping muscles and abs the size of hams, a neck that's thick and made of fire, and buttocks as strong as rams. So if you can't get past my eyebrows and my complexion put you off, then just pretend I'm your boyfriend and that my name is Everlove. Let's get funky now. 1, 2, 3, go! I'll bring out of the dark world the sacred bones I choke. The twilight monk and holy, the master sword is broke. No matter how you slay me, I'll come back just the same. It's something Link's adventure, cause Zelda to his lanes will reach a shining magic shield up and down to where I can sparkles and a sword to whip through in good better gather 7 sages of some pain or some tears. But hurry back, cause I'll attack again in another 100 years. I can't hear you. Oh, that's good. She life can be quite fragile when you're evil and you're fear. It's not like making come and no one lets you fear. You've got multiple personalities because you turn into a sign. You deny your memory of a tragedy that was made for sin. No wonders my revolution bullets and then break them to my tower. We can go to doctors gatherings and fight like what's a power. German movie structure on those with a bigger and more only will be if she's a pretty cool shoes do.
Watch out!
So yeah, this was actually
There's one shot that I really threw Peter for a huge loop on.
this was the first time that AJ suddenly said in post-production, "Oh, we didn't plan on this, but I want this crazy thing that you've never done before to happen." I had never had to track a 3D moving scene and then
That butterfly's not real.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
that butterfly. He was just like, Peter, this needs something. Make
Like a butterfly.
Make a butterfly land on his shoulder. I'm like, what?
It seemed like a good idea at the time. I need you if you could do it. Peter, can we make a butterfly kind of come down and
Like, okay, AJ, I'll pretend I know.
And he made it happen. I can't believe that still. So.
So we're a lot more advanced in terms of effects at this point. We can, I know that I can do that, but it's YouTube is always stretching our limits in terms of everything that we do, from music styles. AJ's written a lot of music that he's never thought he'd be able to write, to visual effects that I never expected or thought I would be able to do. And it's just because, when the story needs it, the story needs it. And
Peter?
the story needed a butterfly.
Peter, you want to cue up the bloopers? I feel the need to give out more stuff. I feel the need to ask a question, though, to give out more stuff. So the first question we're going to ask, actually, I'll show you what I'm going to give you. This is actually not used in a video, but if you remember at all from either last year or seeing on our channel, we did a Pac-Man musical. And last year,
I don't know what the bloopers are.
the bloopers are in the bonus encounters, with all the other bonus encounters. Silly Billy.
Oh, are they under compressed?
No. Peter, you want to pitch this to them? Tell them about J-pop.
So, okay.
I'm gonna find some bloopers.
So, we have this beautiful little Pac-Man eyeball poncho, basically, yeah. So, last year we were here at AOD, and the guys in charge really liked our panel, and they said that people loved it, and they said, we're gonna put you in touch with these people at J-pop. How many of you are familiar with J-pop? Yeah, the J-pop Summit Festival, or whatever it's called. We were invited to go there and perform live, which we don't do very much. We usually, in a panel, will perform one song live. We're not doing that at this convention, but we usually don't do a string of live performances. And at J-pop we did. So we had to, sometimes like with Pac-Man the musical, we did a Pac-Man musical, but it was all claymation. And so we didn't actually have costumes for it, and we had never performed it live. So we're like, okay, how are we gonna do this? So, we made beautiful, little, adorable ponchos that,
Now we're gonna give one away.
yeah, we're gonna give it away.
Yes.
What?
This one was worn by Casey Dwyer, by the way, who's not here this
We
year
don't know
with us,
Casey yet.
unfortunately. We're gonna give this away, but I want to ask a question, and we're gonna have a vote. So I'm gonna take two of your answers, and then we're gonna decide whose answer was the best. So, if you could pick one celebrity, it can be YouTube or the real world or music or whatever, that you think should be in a random encounter musical, I want to hear it. So, let's go to you right here, sir.
Nicolas Cage.
All right.
Nicolas Cage in a random encounter. Who's going up against Nicolas Cage? Who's got another one? You're right here.
The Smosh guys.
Smosh guys, and
She's
you right
already
here.
won something, so her win
Hugh
doesn't
Jackman.
count.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman versus Nicolas Cage.
I didn't know
That's a good
it was gonna
try. No, Smosh is great, and if you want to go tell the camera that Smosh should come, you can maybe we'll send this to them or something. Okay, we'll go one more. Hugh Jackman, Nicolas Cage, and
Samuel L. Jackson.
Sam Jackson. Ooh, this
Hey
is so
Smosh,
good.
if you're watching this, you should appear in their musicals because they're amazing.
Okay,
I
how
love
many
you
for
guys.
Nicolas Cage? Just you. Oh, poor Nicolas
I'm gonna
Cage.
throw my vote in for that.
Okay, two people. How many for Hugh Jackman? I almost called Henry Jackman, who's a composer, who's a wonderful composer. Okay, good handful. How many for Sam Jackson? Sam Jackson.
I think we need to actually count those two.
Okay, let's do it one more time. How many for Hugh Jackman? Wolverine.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9,
And how
8.
and how many for Sam Jackson?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, Hugh Jackman just barely wins.
Hugh Jackman is awesome. Hugh Jackman, but Sam Jackson is incredible as well. So
Yeah, we should have.
well done. I agree. I think the real prize here should be that we just have to.
They know. Or
You know what?
Nicolas Cage.
Hold on.
So who's got
You need one
contacts
too.
to Hugh Jackman?
You need one too.
Anyone? No one? You've got contacts to Hugh Jackman? Excellent.
You're the best. You're taking all of the Beard's marshmallows that he didn't throw. You may distribute them, throw them as you please. You may ooh and eat them all if you wish. Alright. That was fantastic. We definitely should have Hugh Jackman be in something.
Definitely.
I wrote a Jack the Ripper musical once, and I wanted Hugh Jackman to play Jack the Ripper. I'm like, this is the only way to do this. Okay, let's show some Ganondorf bloopers really quick.
Hey, pop quiz for you two. Which ghost is that?
That one is Blinky.
Hello.
Yes. That is Blinky.
It took me, I was like, I labeled them, but I couldn't
The
remember.
problem we had is that Casey Dwyer actually played multiple ghosts.
Yeah, he also played Clyde, so
Yeah, and
I
so
got a
I'm like,
little.
wait, Casey,
Okay.
I'm rolling. Alright,
He doesn't care.
I'm rolling. Rolling. I'm rolling. Again. Get out of here! Oh, the armor. Yeah.
We can throw a rocket sticker too. Yeah, throw. That's gonna be cute. Oh, fail. That's gonna be.
Let's just do. Move to my left now. Yes. Substantially.
Okay. We are so close to being almost out of time, so I really quick want to say that we just ended on the Giant Crazy Snake. You might recall he was called the Giant Crazy Snake in the Ganondorf song. Sometimes part of making your videos and your brand stand out is to be able to take things that your community links onto and make it a continued reference or a bigger joke. So, you might need to jump up to that one instead. One of those kind of things we do is offer viewer rewards, which means sometimes we give people extra bonus videos that have nothing to do with anything. So one of them was to take the Angry Bird puppets we used for Angry Birds musical and make them fight in a cage match with the Giant Crazy Snake from Ganondorf. It's called Cage Match. I recall.
It's not in this folder.
It's not in this folder. I can get to show you the Giant Crazy Snake Cage Match fighting.
Maybe it's in.
Are you in the wrong one?
Search.
Oh yeah, go down to that one. This one, I think you're in random encounters, so you go spitefully yours.
But I checked.
Both of them?
Find it.
Alright, well, you talk about the Giant Crazy Snake, I think so.
Okay, so we have multiple characters who show up in various videos that a lot of our fans will actually start to recognize, like the beard and the Giant Crazy Snake who you're about to see, and we actually have branched out and we did an Angry Birds musical and they're just sock puppets, and we use the sock puppets in some things sometimes. So the Giant Crazy Snake is, well, Ganondorf, and I forget which game, but he turns into a giant crazy snake, literally.
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker, thank you. And so, you know, we had a reference to it, and for some reason AJ was doing the voice that you heard in the bloopers, and we're like, this is amazing, we need to continue this character.
Giant Match is brought to you by Sega Bass Fishing of the Dead. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the main event. Standing 8.5 inches apiece and weighing 14 pounds combined. In the blue corner, the Angry Birds. And standing a massive 11 inches and weighing in at 4 pounds 2 ounces, our reigning champion. In the red corner, the Giant Crazy Snake. Give it up. And here it comes. Let's get ready to rumble! Looks like the birds are taking it on the chin.
We don't have a chin.
Enough games, fool. This don't matter.
Wait a second. Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Time to bring the pain. It's a rainbow cat. We'll drive to and that's that, folks. Giant Crazy Snake wins. Congratulations. Got a message for the fans? Hey, kids. Never raise a smack down on anyone without parental supervision or a mask to hide your identity. Hey, cameraman, didn't I tell you turn that off?
And that's what you do for your fans when you love them. Alright, last thing I'm going to give away today. And this is probably the last thing we have time to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we have one more shirt to give away.
Is this from J-pop?
Oh, what size is that? Extra large. Awesome.
What?
Use this.
Okay, well, it's almost the end of the panel. I'm leaving right now, but I just want to show you this. We used this for J-pop last year. It's been worn once by my sweaty armpits, so I apologize. It's been washed.
No, it hasn't.
What?
No, it hasn't.
Oh, I didn't even put this on. I brought it. I didn't have time. Okay, well, point is, we have a Pac-Man shirt. I'm going to give it away, but I need you guys first to answer the question. So here we go. If you got to pick one game to make a random encounter out of, what would it be? Raise your hands. Here in the back, in the red, yell it.
Disgaea.
Which one?
Disgaea.
Disgaea. Against Disgaea, we need another answer. You.
Pong.
Pong. And you.
Mega Man.
Pong, Mega Man, and Disgaea. Okay, let's do the voting. Disgaea, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And somebody in the hallway. Pong. Pong the musical, how many?
No one.
You and Nicolas Cage. And you. Okay, and Mega Man. How many Mega Man? Mega Man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, Mega Man wins that one. So congratulations, well chosen.
Oh well, thank you for trying.
Now, That's an excellent question. I just want to point this out that last year we were at AOD and the people there voted for Tetris the Musical. And so we made it. We made Tetris the Musical and it was a real thing by the time we came back. So, sir, AOD has proven to be exceptionally creative and I hope that we have a Mega Man musical to show you next year. That you can say, I did that. And maybe Hugh Jackman will be in it. Hugh Jackman is Mega Man. Thanks all everybody for coming a lot. If you have any questions, we can meet you around. We're gonna linger, probably go get food. Mike always been grumbling. It's like trying to share the mic. Yeah. So thank you all for coming. Appreciate your time. Have an excellent rest of your day.